Hello, and Anna, thank you for joining us. My name is Marcia Longdon, and I'm a partner in the UK immigration team at Kingsley Napley. Anna, if I could go over to you for you to introduce yourself and perhaps talk a little bit more about your practice.
Thank you very much, Marcia. Well, I'm also a partner at Sagardoy Abogados, which is an employment and immigration law firm in Spain.
Perfect. So, Anna, I am so grateful to you for joining us today. What I want to do is have a discussion about Spanish nationals in the UK, and we all know that the end of free movement is coming up. I was looking on the UK.gov website and they are literally counting it down. So it's now 58 days to go from our recording today. So by the 31st of December 2020 at 11 p.m. UK time, the end of free movement will occur. So what I want to do today is to have a chat with you and obviously rely on your expertise to find out what's going to happen with UK nationals up to the 31st of December who are currently in Spain, and what, if any, plans have been put in place from the 1st of January 2021 for UK nationals who are in Spain. Conversely, if I can just sort of summarise what the UK government has done here in the UK to facilitate Spanish nationals, basically, and you know, I completely appreciate on the basis of the withdrawal agreement in the UK, it's still based on European law to some extent. So I know that the provisions in the UK have been slightly mirrored in Spain, but for now, Spanish national currently in the UK, if they have been living here, working here, exercising, you know, their European rights, they are allowed to apply under the settlement provisions, which have been in place, I think, between 12 to 18 months. And it's literally, they can download an app and put it on an iPhone, and through that process, they can apply for settled status in the UK. If they've been here already for 5 years, then they should automatically, through the application process, obtain settled status. If they've not been here for the 5 years, then they will be granted pre-settled status. But the idea is everyone's going to be given, if you like, settled status if they're in the UK at this time. The slight controversy is that from the 1st of January 2021, Spanish nationals will become part of the domestic UK immigration. So that means that if somebody's coming to the UK for the first time from the 1st of January, they will be required to be sponsored if they want to work in the UK. And so that's how things look now. Every non-European national who's coming to the UK to work has to be sponsored, more or less, has to be sponsored by a UK sponsor in order to work. So Spanish nationals coming for the first time, as I said, from the 1st of January, the same will apply to them. The government has looked at providing some level of flexibility in that there is this whole new immigration rules and system that they have introduced. And when you look at that system or the provisions around it for people to work, it's really flexible. It's a lot more flexible than the current system. And I almost want to say, shush, don't tell them, because I don't think they realize like how flexible it is. And a very quick example is that the resident labour market test has gone. So a UK employer who wants to employ a foreign national will no longer have to test the resident labour market. So that was quite a significant change for many of us as practitioners. We were like, wow, are we sure? And we didn't even want to talk about it too much because we felt that that's got to be wrong, but it's not wrong. It's, you know, the legislation came out last week. The law, if you like, came out last week, and it's set in there. It continues to say that the resident labour market test is abolished. So that's a good sign. And I think they've done that purely because they couldn't figure out, like, if you wanted to rely on the resident labour market test, and that would mean you'd have to, include European nationals in that. And I'm going to say, with all due respect, I think they thought it was too complicated. But look, I've spoken enough. Can you tell me from your perspective, or from Spain's perspective, what's happening?
Well, in Spain is quite similar. I mean, during the transitory period, all the UK nationals and also their dependents, even if they are from a third country, arriving to Spain before 31st December 2020, they will receive exactly the same treatment as any EU national. So, provided they arrive before the deadline, they will be fine. And after the transitory period, they will remain allowed to live and to work in Spain. So, what we need to take into consideration is if these UK nationals come into Spain during the transitory period, they hold a document identifying them as EU residents living in Spain. In case they hold this document, they will be perfectly fine because there will not be a deadline in order to switch this document to a new document regulated by the withdrawal agreement. Okay. They can do this at any moment, even during 2021. But now, UK nationals and their dependents who do not hold these documents according to the EU migratory system, they will need to submit a residency card regulated by the withdrawal agreement. And in this case, there is an applicable deadline. It is 3 months from the moment they arrive to Spain. Okay. And it is important to say that this process to apply for the residency card under the withdrawal agreement is in place in Spain since July 6th.
Ah, so that's different, because in the UK, Anna knew this, in the UK is saying, European nationals have to regulate their stay under the settlement agreement by June 2021. So Spain is saying July.
Yes, Spain started with this process on July 2020. From this day, you can apply for the residency card under the withdrawal agreement, because until this date, UK nationals kept applying for a certificate of registration as EU nationals. Right. But from July, the old process is no longer in place. Right. So from July 6th, the residency card must be submitted through the withdrawal agreement. Right, right. But the process is quite similar, because what they will be required is to provide documents proving financial reliability, either from work or from bank statements, and public or medical insurance coverage. Okay. The processing time to resolve the application is 3 months. And after 3 months, they will fingerprint and they will receive a residency card valid for 5 years. Right, right, right. And I mean, you were talking before about flexibility. I guess here the authorities are going to be quite flexible if UK nationals do not meet this deadline, 3 months deadline to submit the application. And they say when there are exceptional circumstances, the application can be submitted after these 3 months. Let's say that a UK national submits a wrong application because he or she is not clear on the process. Honestly, we do not think they are going to face much trouble.
Can I ask you this, Anna? Do you think, from your perspective, if it's been very well publicised in Spain as to what UK nationals can do and what they're entitled to?
Yes, honestly, I guess so, because the government has published a very detailed guideline about what to do. Like, in case you already hold a certificate of registration, this is what you need to do. In case you do not hold such a certificate, you must follow this process. And the guidelines are quite specific.
Oh, good. And then can I ask you this just for clarification? So if, obviously I'm a UK national, so if I came to Spain from the 1st of January and said, right, I want to live there or work, are you saying that I've got within 3 months to obtain my residency card?
No, I mean, if you arrive to Spain before 31st December, you will be fine.
Yeah.
You will have 3 months to apply for the residency card according to the withdrawal agreement. But if you come from January 2021, you will be covered by the General Immigration Legal Framework, which means that you will need to obtain a permit to live in Spain and a work permit to work in Spain. And I'm afraid that, as a general rule, the labor market test will be taken into consideration when resolving work permit applications for UK national, unless we talk about highly qualified staff, specific exceptions for ICT workers, posted workers, or people with links, with family links, with residents in Spain. But for a regular worker, not a highly qualified one, labor market test will be taken into consideration unless European Union or Spain reach a specific agreement with the UK.
Okay, that's really useful. And then I think I've just got one more just out of interest, which came up in one of my other calls that I had, was if, again, I'm a UK national, and if I came to Spain and I was just holidaying in Spain, and then I went to Italy and spent some time in Italy, and then I went to Germany and spent some time in Germany, is there a limit on how much time I can spend in Europe holidaying?
Absolutely, because this is about Schengen regulation, not only European Union regulation. And as a general rule, third country nationals are allowed to stay in the Schengen area, not in each of the countries belonging to the Schengen area, but in the whole area, for a maximum up to 90 days, continuous or discontinuous, at any 180-day period. And it is a rolling period. So if I want to check how many days I have today left in the Schengen area, I need to review the previous 180 days in order to count how many days I have spent. But not only in Madrid, but also in Rome, in Netherlands, in any Schengen country.
So that would, I think that's a really interesting and valid point, because as you appreciate, you often have obviously UK nationals who are thinking, right, I'm just going to go to Europe. It could be for travel, it could be for business reasons, it could be all sorts of reasons. And so we're literally going to be in that pot of you can only stay for a maximum period, despite how many countries you go to. Wow.
Absolutely, absolutely. And another important thing regarding these Schengen trips is about what UK nationals are going to be allowed to do, because tourism is evident, it is possible. As visitor, we already said 90 days at any 180-day period. But what they can do, what means business? And there is always a gray area. In Spain, it's not 100% clear. What you can do under the visitor status is to attend meetings, tours, and activities similar to meetings, but not work, not effective work, even if you are working for a foreign employer, for a foreign employer. So it is interesting to double check with every single Schengen country activities permitted under the visitor business status.
Do you know what, Anna? I think that's been so interesting and so fascinating. And I think, to be honest, I think you and I are probably going to need to speak again in 6 months' time or 7 months' time to say, right, everything we spoke about has happened and what things look like. But honestly, I absolutely appreciate everything that you've said. And I think it's really interesting and really useful. And just my final sort of comment on it is, given that Spain is one of the countries which the UK, people love, right? So you have a huge amount of UK nationals who are in Spain. It's like their second or first home. So I think, your thoughts and comments have been fantastic and really useful. But I'll hand over to you. Are there any lasting tips that you'd want to give to UK nationals coming out to Spain?
Yes, sure. Main recommendation. Every single UK national already here or arriving before December 31st, please, they need to submit as soon as possible the residency card application according to the withdrawal agreement. We can submit the application online. I mean, it's not highly bureaucratic or time consuming, but it is important that they focus on in order to do this as soon as possible. And I would like to transmit calm to all the UK nationals because they are not going to face issues. Okay. I mean, the Spanish government has been focused on this since months ago, and they are going to maintain all the rights they already hold. Very important from a practical perspective. All the applications submitted under the withdrawal agreement are not going to analyze police records, because we had few clients that they have small criminal records, so they were thinking what to do. Shall I go before the end of the transitory period? May I wait? Our advice is to submit the application as soon as possible, because now, even if they have minor criminal records, this will not be a ground of rejection, but from January it will be.
Yeah, brilliant. Thank you so much.